The conditions in which the Dublin working class lived at the beginning of the 20th century were among the worst in any European city. Nearly 40% of the population lived in tenement slums, and 20,108 families were recorded as living in a single room. Infant mortality was the highest in Europe, and thousands worked a 70-hour week for a pittance of wages. The Dublin and indeed the Irish working class were impoverished, disorganised and without meaningful representation. They were thoroughly exploited by employers, and when workers did attempt to seek better rights, they were victimised by their bosses. What unions did exist were elitist and served only the skilled trades, or were British-based unions with little interest in the particular conditions of Irish workers. It was against this background that the Irish Transport and General Workers Union was founded by Jim Larkin, among others, in 1909. It met with a huge appetite for better representation from Irish workers, and within a short period of time it became the leading organisation of Irish workers. By 1913 it had a membership of 10,000. It began to win considerable advances for workers, with increases in pay for dockers and agricultural labourers. It was only a matter of time before the powerful employers of Dublin would seek to break the union. The Dublin Employers' Federation was led by William Martin Murphy, owner of the Independent newspaper and the Dublin United Tramways Company, as well as various hotels and department stores. On the 21st of August 1913, the employers joined battle. 200 workers in the parcels office of the Tramways Company received the following notice. As the directors understand that you are a member of the Irish Transport Union, whose methods are disorganising the trade and business of the city, they do not further require your services. The parcels traffic will be temporarily suspended. If you are not a member of the union when traffic is resumed, your application for re-employment will be favourably considered. This was a brazen attempt to force workers to drop membership of the union and to effectively ban the union. The ITGWU responded in the only manner open to them. On the 26th of August 1913, the day of the Dublin Horse Show at the RDS, trams around the city stopped and drivers and conductors walked away. Larkin addressed the workers at Liberty Hall. "This is not a strike, it is a lockout of the men who have been tyrannically treated by a most unscrupulous scoundrel. We will demonstrate in O'Connell Street. It is our street, as well as William Martin Murphy's. We are fighting for bread and butter. By the living God, if they want war, they can have it." Larkin announced that he would speak to a meeting in O'Connell Street on Sunday, the 28th of August. The British authorities in Dublin Castle banned the meeting. Larkin was determined to go ahead. With the help of Constance Markovich, he disguised himself as an elderly clergyman and entered the Imperial Hotel, owned by William Martin Murphy himself, and attempted to address the crowd from the upstairs window. Thousands of members of the Dublin Metropolitan Police brutally attacked the workers. Men, women and children were beaten on the street, and hundreds were admitted to hospital. Future IRA leader and author Ernie O'Malley described what happened. Police swept down from many quarters, hemmed in the crowd and used heavy batons on anyone who came in their way. I saw women knocked down and kicked. I hurried up a side street. At the other end, the police struck people as they lay injured on the ground, struck them again and again. I could hear the crunch as the heavy sticks struck unprotected heads. Through October, November and December, the lockout dragged on, and the employers relied increasingly on strike breakers, or blacklegs as they were known. Pickets were continually attacked and beaten by the DMP. The lockout carried on until January 1914, with Dublin workers having shown incredible resolve and determination in the face of overwhelming odds, as well as opposition from the Catholic Church, the press and the Home Rule Nationalist Party. In contrast, future leaders of the 1916 Rising, such as Pádraig Mac Piarish, Thomas MacDonagh, Eamon Cant and Thomas Clark supported the workers in the lockout. And Republican and feminist women such as Hannah Sheehy Skeffington, Helena Maloney and Constance Markovich played a key role in the struggle. 3 union members were killed by the authorities during the lockout. James Nolan and John Byrne were beaten to death by the Dublin Metropolitan Police, and Alice Brady was shot dead by a strikebreaker. The workers were finally forced back to work by hunger and poverty, but the union was not broken. Out of the ashes of the Great Lockout of 1913, the trade union movement arose phoenix-like. James Connolly led the Irish Citizen Army into the 1916 Rising. The Irish Transport and General Workers Union grew to a mass movement of workers across Ireland, and it played a key role in the struggle for Irish independence. The sacrifice and commitment of the Dublin workers in 1913 would provide an inspiration for workers in challenging for their rights and entitlements over the following century.
Shouts of happiness and relief. The Vita Cortex workers emerged from the plant in Cork this afternoon to be met by family, friends and supporters. Since their protest began, the workers have missed Christmas, St. Patrick's Day and Easter, as well as many other family occasions. Their emotions were mixed.
We're near exhaustion at this stage, physically, mentally and financially, but the resolve is very strong. We're going to be here for as long as it takes.
Today, SIPTU announced an escalation of their protest action.
Well, Larkin Holdings have contracts around the country at the moment. They're publicly funded, and statements have to be made at every one of those contracts by the workers who are 184 days now on the roadside and locked out.
The millions upon billions of taxpayers' money that's going to be used to bail out the bankers, and all we need here is a certain amount of money to help out these workers. It's an absolute disgrace, and I think people should wake up and see what's happening. So once again I say, I support the workers here, and I hope that people will remember that we will have to fight more fights down the road. Thank you.